Hello everybody, welcome to YouTube channel Enriched Biology. Today we will do nutrition in human beings for class 11 students. So I suppose you might have read nutrition in human being for class 10 students also. You should also read this video so that you know the basic points of the nutrition. Nutrition, what is nutrition? Intake of the nutrients is called as the nutrition. And these nutrients, they are, in case of holozoic animals, they are taken in the large molecules, carbohydrates, protein, fats, etc., and some quantity of vitamins and minerals. They could not be assimilated as such. They are to be broken down into small particles and converted into small molecules so that they are used for synthesis of energy and to synthesis of biomolecules inside the body for tissue growth and repair of the tissue. So nutrition in human being is heterotrophic. It is holozoic, it is herbivorous, and some human beings, they are omnivorous. Heterotrophic means they can't synthesize their food themselves. Holozoic, they take food from the outside in the form of complex substances and water and convert them into simpler substances inside the body with the help of digestive juices. And they are herbivores. Some human beings are herbivores. Herbivores means they take the plant material. Omnivores, they take the plant as well as animal material. One, there is more term carnivore. Flesh-eating animals which take only animals material, they are called as the carnivore. Flesh-eating animals, just like tiger, eagle, these are carnivore. In human being, the food is taken in the form of carbohydrates, protein, fats, in large quantity and little quantity of minerals and vitamins. These carbohydrates, proteins and fats, they are to be broken down into smaller particles, smaller molecules, so that they are used for synthesis of energy and synthesis of molecules, biomolecules in the body which are required for tissue repair and growth. So digestion in human being, it occurs in a long tube-like structure which is called as the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal, it starts with mouth. Its anterior opening is mouth and ends at the end also again with the opening, posterior opening, that is called as the anus. So mouth, the alimentary canal have many organs which take part in digestion. Along with the alimentary canal, the digestive organs which are present in the alimentary canal, they are mouth. Mouth leads into buccal cavity. Buccal cavity leads into small sac-like structure which is called as the pharynx. Pharynx leads into tube-like structure which is called as the esophagus. And esophagus leads into stomach. Stomach into small intestine, and small intestine into large intestine. Large intestine further opens outside with the help of posterior pore which is called as the anus. These are the organs participating in the digestion of the food in case of human being. Various components of food, they are digested, they are broken down into simpler substances, and then they are absorbed by the alimentary canal. Then these are the organs associated with digestion. In addition to these organs, glands are also associated with the digestion. Which are those glands? Salivary glands in buccal cavity, gastric glands in the stomach, pancreatic glands, liver gland, and intestinal glands in the intestine. These are the glands which participate in which associate in the digestion by producing enzymes, by producing hormones, by producing juices which contain the enzyme, and these enzymes are the biocatalysts, and they help in the digestion of the food. What are the enzymes which are produced in the alimentary canal? Three kinds of enzymes are released into the alimentary canal, that is amylase, lipase, and protease. Amylase acts upon the carbohydrate part, protease acts upon the protein part, and lipase acts upon the fats. In addition to this, for the functioning of these enzymes, to maintain the medium in which these enzymes can function, some ions are also released. That is sodium ion, potassium ion, bicarbonate ion, and HCl. These are released where they are required to maintain the medium which is required for the functions of the enzymes. So uh, now we will do one by one how digestion occurs. Food is taken by the mouth. It is the anterior opening, and then from the mouth enters into the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity, it is the oral cavity. जो हमारे मुंह में ये इधर cavity है, cheeks जो जिनको cheeks enclose करते हैं, that is called the buccal cavity. In the buccal cavity, salivary glands are present. 3 pairs of salivary glands are present. Parotid salivary gland, a pair of maxillary or mandibular salivary gland, a pair of sublingual salivary glands. These salivary glands, they release the enzyme salivary amylase. Parotid glands, they are present in the cheek, maxillary below the jaw, and sublingual below the tongue. So in addition to these glands, there are present teeth in the buccal cavity. Teeth are embedded in the jaws, and in the jaws socket is present in which teeth are embedded. Teeth are thecodont. They are diphyodont. What is thecodont? When the teeth, they are embedded in the socket of the jaws, then they are called a thecodont. When they are present simply embedded in the jaws, no socket is present, they are called as athecodont. In case of human being, thecodont teeth are there. Then teeth are diphyodont. What is diphyodont? 2 sets of teeth are developed in the human being in the younger stages. In the kid stages, the milk teeth are formed. Milk teeth, then after the age of 4 to 5 years, they are shed and they are replaced by permanent teeth. Milk teeth are called as the temporary teeth. Permanent teeth and the replaced teeth, they are called as the permanent teeth. So such type of teeth arrangement, when 2 sets are formed, 1 set is replaced by the other permanent set, they are called as the diphyodont. Then these teeth, in case of human being, there are 4 kinds: incisor, canine, and premolar and molar. Incisor, the front teeth in our mouth, they help in cutting off the food material. Then canine help in grinding the food material. Then premolars and molars, premolars help in tearing and grinding, and molars, they also help in the crushing the food. So, and in human being, 32 teeth are present, 16 teeth on the right side and 16 teeth on the left side. 8 teeth on the upper jaw on the right side, 8 teeth on the lower jaw on the right side, 8 teeth on the upper jaw on the left side, 8 teeth on the lower jaw on the right side. Then there is the number of canine is, incisor is, number of incisor is 2, canine is 1, and premolar 2, and molars, they are 3. So they are written as 2, 1, 2, 3 means dental formula, that each half of the jaw, these 2 incisor, 1 canine, two premolars and three molars are present. This you can write down 2, 1, 2, 3 by 2, 1, 2, 3. This is the dental formula. What's the function of teeth? Teeth, they masticate the food. Food particles are very large which we take. They masticate the food and cut and grind and chew it in smaller particles. And what is the function of salivary glands? Salivary gland, they secrete mucus as well as enzymes, salivary enzymes, in addition to some ions, that is potassium, calcium and bicarbonate ion. And medium is alkaline. The salivary amylase acts upon the carbohydrate part of the food, and which is partially digested. Some part of the food is digested, broken down into smaller particle, fragmented into smaller particle, and by the amylase. And these bicarbonate ions, they provide the alkaline medium for their function. Then in the buccal cavity, I told you a muscular tongue-like structure is present. Muscular tongue is present, and this tongue is attached to from the posterior side but free from the anterior side. From the posterior side, it is attached with a flap that is called the extension, that is called the frenulum, and on the anterior side it is free. On the upper side of the tongue are present papilla. These papilla, some of the papilla bear the taste buds. So what is all these things, tongue, you can say teeth and glands, they function together to digest carbohydrate part, some of the carbohydrate part of the food. So these fragmented particles, smaller particles, along with other food components, by the muscular movement of tongue, they are converted into ball-like structure, which is called as the bolus, and this bolus is then transferred to the pharynx. This bolus is then transferred to the pharynx. So this is all about buccal cavity. And then in the buccal cavity, some other enzyme, lysozyme, is also produced. This lysozymes, it's you might have read lysosomes in cell structure. What are lysosomes? They contain the enzymes which break down the larger particles which kill the bacteria. So these lysozymes, they kill the harmful bacteria if enter inside with the food and protect the buccal cavity. From the lysozyme, from the buccal cavity, food enters into the pharynx. Pharynx is the common passage for, yes, it is the common passage for food and air. From the pharynx, food goes in, no digestion occurs here. From the pharynx, food goes into esophagus. That is, pharyngeal esophagus. Sphincter is present in between the pharynx and the esophagus. And food goes into the esophagus. Along with the esophagus, esophagus is food pipe. Along with the esophagus is windpipe, that is trachea. So there is every possibility to go the food into the trachea or the windpipe, but it is not so. Windpipe has on its opening, which is called as the glottis, a flap-like structure, epiglottis. When food moves from pharynx to esophagus, this epiglottis covers the glottis, and prevention of food into the trachea is done. So in esophagus, no digestion occurs. It is only passage. From the esophagus, food comes into the stomach. From the esophagus, food comes into the stomach. The sphincter regulates the passage of food from the esophagus to the stomach, that is gastroesophageal sphincter. Stomach, it is J-shaped structure. It is present in the abdominal cavity and below the diaphragm on the left side. Stomach has 3 lobes. The part where this esophagus enters into the stomach is called as the cardiac. This part is cardiac. And this adjacent large part is called as this is pyloric, by which enters into the duodenum. This large part is called as the fundus. Fundus. And the narrow part which enters into the duodenum, small intestine, is called as the pyloric. This part is called as the pyloric. So stomach has three parts: cardiac, fundus and pyloric. What is cardiac? It is a portion of the stomach in which esophagus enters. Esophagus opens. Fundus is the large part adjacent to the cardiac. Pyloric is the ending part which leads into the small intestine. In the stomach, the inside of the stomach, the mucus layer, it is produced into glands which are called as the gastric glands. Gastric glands, they secrete the secretions which contain the enzyme acting upon proteins and a little lipase also, along with HCl. This protein digesting enzyme, that is pepsin, it functions in acidic medium. So HCl is required to convert the food which is coming from the buccal cavity through the esophagus, which is alkaline, into the acidic form, so that the protein digesting enzyme can function. So HCl is also released, and protein part of the food is digested to some extent. Then this HCl, sometimes we say that acidity ho gayi, jalan ho rahi hai. What is that? That is nothing. वो HCl ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस हो जाता है तो एसिडिटी की वजह से प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है. So then this stomach pyloric enters the intestine, small intestine. This small intestine, it has three parts. C-shaped structure, which is called as the duodenum. It is called as the duodenum. Duodenum leads into a long coiled structure which is called as jejunum. Jejunum leads into ileum. It is highly coiled and embedded, and it may be many meters long. So this is small intestine. The pyloric sphincter regulates the movement of food from stomach to the duodenum. In the duodenum, digestion of the food takes place. In ileum and jejunum, absorption of the digested food is there. Digested food and water is absorbed there. The small intestine then leads into leads into large intestine. Large intestine has three parts. Blind sac-like structure is called as the cecum. Cecum leads into colon. Colon leads into rectum. Cecum is blind sac-like structure. It has small finger-like projection which is called as the vermiform appendix. This is a vestigial organ. It does not take part in digestion. If it is enlarged, it becomes a disease. It becomes a problem for the human being because it interferes with the activity of the intestine. Then cecum also contains the symbiotic bacteria. Then cecum leads into colon. Colon has three parts: ascending colon, transverse colon, and descending colon. Colon then leads into small sac-like structure, rectum, and rectum opens to the outside by anus. The food is digested into the duodenum, that we will do in detail, which enzymes act upon the food. food in the next video. Now I will describe the structure of wall of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal, I told you, it is long tube-like structure from esophagus to anus, large opening anus, rectum to anus. There are contraction and relaxation of the muscles so that food can move by a contraction and relaxation of the muscles from one part to the other. These movements are called as the peristaltic movement. This alimentary canal, it is formed of 4 layers. Outermost layer is serosa. Next layer is muscular layer. Then is submucosal layer, and innermost is mucosal layer. Outermost layer is serosa. Then next is muscular layer, muscularis. Inner to the muscularis is submucosal layer, this green, blue in color, and this pink in color is mucosal layer. Serosa is formed of mesothelium, that is epithelium of the viscera. It is thin layer and mixed with loose connective tissue. Then under the serosa is muscular layer. It is heavy layer. 2 kinds of muscles are present. Outer longitudinal muscles and inner is circular muscles. These longitudinal muscles are drawn in purple color and inner muscle in the orange color. Inner circular muscle and outer longitudinal muscle, and at some places oblique muscles are also present. This muscular layer, it is supplied with nerves, blood capillaries, and lacteals. Then inner to the muscular layer is present submucosal layer. Submucosal layer formed of loose connective tissue. It has supply of nerve, blood capillaries and lymph, lacteals. Mucosal layer is the innermost layer. It is formed of connective tissue. It has supply of lacteals and blood capillaries. So the innermost layer, the mucosal layer, it is produced into folds. In case of stomach, these are the folds. These are the folds, innermost. These folds in case of stomach are called as rugae, R-U-G-A-E. And in case of intestine, small intestine, these folds are finger-like. They are called as the villi. They are called as the villi. So mucosal layer, it is produced into villi and rugae, innermost layer. Then what are these villi? Villi, I told you, these are finger-like projection of the innermost layer, mucosal layer. They have large this vessel, lacteal, lymph vessel, which is called as the lacteal in the center, and many capillaries, there's branches of veins or the, you can say, arteries on either side. So villi, they are supplied with lacteal, lymph vessel as well as blood capillaries. The mucosal layer in the villi is in between the two villi. Mucosal layer into the two villi, it is supplied with lymph vessels and it forms the crypt. These are called as the crypt of Leberkohen. These are called as the crypt of Leberkohen. So this is all about the structure of villi. Villi, they also have further extension, hair-like extension. These hair-like extension, they are called as the microvilli. What is their function? They increase the surface area for absorption, because in the small intestine, absorption of the digested food material occurs. This is all about the structure of alimentary canal, wall of alimentary canal. Then we come to the structure of these, you can say, the glands. I told you this slide. In the buccal cavity, 3 types of glands are there: parotid, maxillary or mandibular, and sublingual. They secrete salivary amylase. Then on the right side of the body, below the diaphragm, in the abdomen is present large two-lobe structure which is called as the liver. Liver secretes the bile juice. Bile juice is stored in the, yes, gallbladder. It is stored in the gallbladder. Then in the C-shape or U-shaped structure of duodenum, in this area is present another gland which is called as the pancreas. Here, pancreas, it releases enzymes. It is endocrine as well as exocrine. Exocrine part of the pancreas release many enzymes which act upon carbohydrate, protein and fats of the food material and ultimately digest them into smaller molecules which are absorbing worthy. Then how these in the intestine also there are present mucosal layer in the some mucosal layer also there are present goblet cells. They secrete the in the mucosal layer there are present goblet cell. They secrete the mucus and some intestinal juices also formed. Then this pancreas, the bile juice which is produced by the liver, it is stored into the gallbladder and passed from the liver by the hepatic ducts into the gallbladder. So from the gallbladder comes a duct which is called as the bile duct. In this bile, then pancreas release the pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice is released into the intestine, into the duodenum by pancreatic duct along with bile juice. So these bile duct and pancreatic duct, they form a common duct at the opening of the duodenum, which is called as the hepatopancreatic duct. So with the help of hepatopancreatic duct, bile juice and pancreatic juice, they are released into the duodenum. I told you that pancreas is both exocrine gland as well as the endocrine. Endocrine part of the gland releases insulin. And you know this insulin plays role in the maintenance of sugar in the blood. And this is all about the glands. So next time we'll do how digestion takes place in the intestine part and how the fishes are formed and removed outside. This is all about digestion in human being, and then next time we'll complete this subject. I hope you might have followed. You like it, share it with your friends and subscribe it so that when any new video is formed you can know. Bye. Have a good day.